Hi, I'm Tinny from Many Bowl Design, and today I'm goofing around with my backpack, and let me explain to you what I'm up against. Now, this is a standard backpack, weighs 3.5 pounds. It's not one of these feather light, ultralight, crazy thin packs. It's a low alpine Vision 40, and it's a pretty nice pack. Very rugged, very durable. You'll never rip it out or anything. And if you've got too much weight for this pack, I couldn't carry it anyway. So it's probably a little overkill for ultralight backpacking, but I really like it. Now here's the problem. This pack has basically this small compartment in the back, which unzips and can hold nothing of any great size. I could probably put my ultralight sleeping bag in there. And then it's got the main compartment, and it's got a couple of small compartments in the head for small stuff, but they won't hold much either. So almost anything of any size is going to go into the main compartment, and it's a top loader. Now, I always put the tent at the bottom because I usually don't have to use my tent. But if I get in a situation where I do need to use it, I've got to take every single thing out of the pack. I've got to empty it to get to the tent. Now, I don't like that. I would like to have a pack so that I can get at either my tent, if I need it, or my sleeping bag, or the rest of my gear, without taking everything out of the pack. And the way I've been loading this, that's not possible. Whatever you're going to get on the second tier, you have to take the first tier out. And if you're unlucky enough to have to get something in the bottom of the pack, like the tent or the sleeping bag, you've got to empty your pack. And it's really messy and just not the way to go. So I've been looking at buying a pack, and everyone I've found that has what I want is like a 5,000 cubic inch pack, a real heavy 6-pound pack. And I haven't found any that has a lot of pockets and stuff on the outside I need like one fairly large pocket on the outside to put my tent in, which is a very small tent, and one on the other side for my sleeping bag. I prefer to have 3, maybe have my ground pad and another one, and then maybe a couple of compartments inside. But I don't think anybody makes one. They have the heavier ones. They have a compartment in the bottom that you can open up to get your sleeping bag out of the bottom without disrupting the rest of the pack. But it's not common. So I'm going to try to come up with some way to put 3 walls in this pack, some kind of thin material, preferably square, 3 of them inside the main pack, full length, 3 wide, so I can slide my sleeping bag and my tent in one, and my ground pad and maybe my cooking kit in another, and then some other gear in the center, so I can segregate them so I can get at each one as I want to. And I think it would actually help the pack keep a little better shape and just be a better looking and easier pack to work with. So that's what I'm going to try to figure out. What I'm going to make this out of, I really don't know yet. I'm still thinking about it. I pretty much ruled out wood or cardboard, so we'll just have to see what I come up with. So I'm Tinny from Many Bowl Design. Let's go look at the video I made of the tree of the day. And later on, maybe in the next video, I've got some video of a guy tapping trees, so we can get a look at that too. And some gray birds falling down, a bunch of other stuff. But anyway, let's go look at the tree of the day now. It's try to pronounce this correctly. We call them poplar in Maine, but actually the correct name is poplar, I believe, without the U, poplar. And I may not pronounce that right in this video, and I may. But anyway, let's go take a look at it. Hi, I'm Tinny from Many Bowl Design, and this cluster of trees right here are poplar trees. And the Hicks here in Maine call them popple, but poplar is the correct name, I believe. Now, these trees, you can see, this one right here is all rotted out and just about ready to tip over. The top's gone out of it. They're not a very long-lived tree. So let's go look at some bigger ones that are a lot healthier. Okay, this is a medium-sized, a fairly large poplar tree. Popple. It's about 70 feet tall, and it doesn't even get any limbs on it until it gets up to about 40 feet. You can get a pretty good log out of them. They have real no claim to fame, and they're one of the first trees to come in once you clear cut an area, as this area has been cut. They don't usually get this big. They usually get up to about the size of the first ones I showed you, and then they rot out and tip over. This one just happens to be on a good footing, and the trees will cut away from it, so I've got plenty of sunshine, and it's doing fairly well. But it's not real common to see them this big. If you do get them this big, they usually cut them down and cut them into 4-foot lengths and haul them to the mill for wood pulp to make paper with. But the ones that don't do that, now and then somebody will cut one up and saw it out into boards. Now these have a rather comical story behind them when you saw them into boards. If you saw them into boards and you don't put weight on them and stick them, just lay them out in the sun, they'll curl right up. Curl all out of shape, warp out of shape. They're totally useless to you unless you're making parts for a canoe or something. You need some bows. But if you do stick the lumber and let it dry with some pressure on it, when you get done you have a wood that's pretty much totally white, almost no knots, fairly soft, doesn't have a lot of structural integrity. It's usually used to make boxes, and they use it in the center core and plywood. Not too many things. It doesn't stand the weather very well, turns black fairly quick and rots out. Really no claim to fame. Just basically a junk tree that they use for some low-end applications like the boxes and the plywood. If it has any claim to fame, one of the small ones, say 3/4 of an inch in diameter, the bark will slip on the wood fairly easily, and in the spring of the year you can do that and make a whistle from them. I've made a lot of whistles when I was a kid. I used to go out with my grandfather, and he'd whittle out a whistle for me, sharpen his jackknife up. And that's basically the only claim to fame they have. They're kind of a junk tree. So that's the scoop on the poplar. I'm Tinny from Mini Bull Design. Get out and hike. Take a friend. Click on some videos if you get a chance. If you can just find one ad on AdSense on one of my videos and click on it, that would be great. If everybody did that, I'd be all set. So I'm Tinny from Mini Bull Design. Bye-bye.